1 year on wall. Fiscal year 2019 just started, only 2 months in, and the federal government already spent more money on food stamps each month than President Trump is asking to cover an entire year's worth of border funding. As the Western Journal reports, the federal government spent $5.8 billion on food stamps in the month of October and $5.4 billion in November. These figures are larger than the $5 billion Trump is requesting for the initial installment for a new wall along the U.S.-Mexico border, and the former is more than the $5.7 billion that the House voted to allocate for the wall. Per the report, on Friday, CNS News editor-in-chief Terrence P. Jeffrey pointed out a staggering statistic. Despite constant foot-dragging in Congress, the sum requested by Trump for the southern border security wall is just a drop in the bucket compared to how much the nation spends on food stamps. The federal government spent more money on the food stamp program in October, which was the first month of fiscal 2019, than President Donald Trump now wants the Congress to approve for the border wall for the entirety of fiscal 2019, he wrote. Sure enough, information from the Department of the Treasury confirmed that the federal government spent $5.892 billion on food stamps through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. And that was just for 1 month. $5.8 billion spent in 1 month. In November, according to the statement for that month, the federal government spent another $5.428 billion on the food stamp program, bringing the total so far for fiscal 2019, after only 2 months, to $11.320 billion, or an average of $5.660 billion per month, the CNS News editor-in-chief continued. Last year, in the fiscal year 2018, the Western Journal reports the federal government spent a whopping $68 billion on the food stamp program, 3 times more than the entire cost of the border wall. The $68 billion spent last year is larger than the average cost of the SNAP program, which regularly runs the government at least $65 billion a year. From the report, these facts fly in the face of lawmakers who have repeatedly insisted that America can't afford the wall project to safeguard the border. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer called $5 billion for the wall exorbitant on Wednesday. The president held out for $5 billion for his wall, at the exorbitant cost of $31 million per mile, straight from the American taxpayer's pocket, he declared. Schumer did not specify how much money was acceptable when it came to securing the nation he swore an oath to protect. In a series of posts, Trump said nothing else will work to secure the border, as effective as a wall, as he and lawmakers continue to negotiate a conclusion to the current shutdown. The Democrats are trying to belittle the concept of a wall, calling it old-fashioned. The fact is there is nothing else that will work, and that has been true for thousands of years, Trump wrote on Twitter Friday morning. It's like the wheel, there is nothing better. He added, properly designed and built walls work, and the Democrats are lying when they say they don't. In Israel, the wall is 99.9% successful. It will not be any different on our southern border. Hundreds of billions saved. What do you think?